जस्टिस अनिल देव सिंह ने एक बड़ी अहम जजमेंट दी थी, जो उन्होंने प्रिंसिपल्स ले डाउन किए थे उस जजमेंट में, उसके लिए बहुत अहम है। उन्होंने कहा कि कोई भी अगर दंगे में शामिल होता है तो उसकी प्रॉपर्टी कॉन्फिस्केट कर लो और उस प्रॉपर्टी से जिनको उन्होंने मारा है या डिस्ट्रॉय किया है उनको कॉम्पेंसेट करो। When a person indulging in violence will realize how it will impact his own life, his own family, it will act as a deterrent. Finally, there is an issue of police accountability. They have an institutional bias against minorities and marginalized communities. There must be police accountability. If there is dereliction of duty, punitive action must be there. Right to justice is a fundamental right of the victims. They need to have a closure, but that can happen only if the people in position of power examine the past, acknowledge it, and try to understand. These are some of the issues that come to my mind, ladies and gentlemen, and along with it, a lot of disillusionment. शौक साहेब का एक शेर मुझे याद आता है, जिसको मैंने थोड़ा सा वक्त के अनुसार तब्दील किया है। बर्बाद गुलिस्तां करने को बस एक ही शैतान काफी है, हर शाख पे शैतान बैठे हैं, अंजामे गुलिस्तां क्या होगा। Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very eminent panel to take this discussion forward today. We have with us Sidharth Tarlochan Singh, former member of parliament, जिन्होंने कोई ऐसा मौका नहीं छोड़ा जिस पे ये मुद्दा ना उठाया हो। We have Farah Naqvi. She is an Indian writer, consultant and activist. She works on gender rights, minority rights, and both justice and development perspective. She has been a member of National Advisory Council. Sidharth Vadarajan, जो हिंदू के एडिटर थे, and currently he is the founding editor of The Wire. He has always stood up on issues pertaining to human rights violations. He is a recipient of Ramnath Goenka Award. He has taught economics at the University of New York and journalism at the University of California, Berkeley, besides working at the Times of India and the Center for Public Affairs and Critical Theory, Shiv Nadar University. We also have with us Professor Narang, who has been with the Sikh Forum right since its inception in 1984. Professor Narang is a professor of political science. He has taught in Delhi University and IGNOU. He has authored and edited 10 books and published more than 65 papers in various journals. He is actively involved with the Bureau of Police Research and Development to train and sensitize police personnel on issues of human rights and minorities. I hope, Professor Narang, you can also use your good offices with the police to tell them the need for justice after 33 long years. I would first request Sidharth Tarlochan Singh ji to say a few words and take this discussion forward. Thank you.
I think we should all thank the Sikh Forum, how they have kept this memory of what happened in Delhi, and every year at least we come here and pay tribute to the unknown Sikhs who were butchered for no fault of theirs. We have been demanding justice, and the panelists here, you all know, they have been writing, raising voice, but till today, we are still there from where we started. We read in the newspapers that the High Court case is going on, this and that. What I said in the Parliament, I want to repeat, that we are not concerned or interested to punish few police constables, few others who were instigated. Our aim is to declare who are the guilty. Guilty was the political authority of the day. Guilty was the LG and the police commissioner of Delhi. Guilty were all those police officers who were posted in Delhi. So our demand stands there. Unless they are declared guilty, 19 police officers were named in the commission report. When I raised the issue, Mr. Chidambaram replied that most of them are retired, we can't take action. One of them, who was declared guilty, he was promoted and given a gallantry award, and later on given a ticket in the Congress to fight election. So our demand still stands that the authorities like Africa should have come forward admitting the guilt and seeking for the pardon. Till today, the government has not come forward to seek even official apology in Parliament. The Canadian government has gone on record in the Parliament. They asked for apology of Kamagata Maru incident where no person was killed. Only the ship was returned back. No killing in Canada, but only the torture of those who remain in the ship, but official apology in the Parliament. And till today, in spite of the new government, for last 3.5 years, no one has come forward to move the resolution in the Parliament. So these are the demands, and we stand by those. We go on carrying on, because the Sikhs, for us, the memory goes and goes, and as our entire history is in the Ardas. Every day we remember what happened to us, who were the butchers, who were killed. So like this goes on. So get Sadguru, bless who were killed for no fault of them, and let all the panelists, because they have been writing, coming forward, and we are gaining support from all of them. God bless them. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Very well said, Sidharth Tarlochan Singh ji. Farah Naqvi.
Good evening. Namaskar. Sat Sri Akal. I am so indebted to the Sikh Forum, to Pushpinder Singh ji, to Pratap Singh ji, for allowing me to be part of this event today. मैं भी दिल्ली की रहने वाली हूँ, पैदाइश परवरिश सब यहीं हुई है, और 84 का जख्म जितना इन बच्चों की आवाज में सुनाई दिया, उतना ही मेरे दिल में भी जिंदा है। मैं 17-18 की थी उस वक्त। The emotions of 1984 have not gone after 33 years. The strength of all of you, of the Sikh Forum, of my panelists here, has not diminished for 33 years. That is the resilience of the human spirit. And I am here to say to all these wonderful young people that we will fight. You are the new generation. तुम में जो जज्बा दिखा, ये लड़ाइयां खत्म नहीं होंगी, लेकिन इस लड़ाई को जारी रखना भी एक लड़ाई है। This endless battle for justice is to keep it alive, to not allow it to be forgotten. That too is a part of justice. I want to draw your attention today. You know, justice for the 84 Sikh massacres have taken primarily one form, court cases, criminal justice. We have fought for justice for those who died, जो गुजर गए। जांचें हुई हैं, कमीशंस बैठाए गए हैं, SITs आई और गई हैं। इवन इन पीस टाइम हमारे मुल्क में इंसाफ बहुत धीरे मिलता है, और जब सियासत इंसाफ के खिलाफ हो, when the political spectrum is against this demand for justice, then the battle will be slower. My concern today is equally not just for those for whom we must seek justice, those who died. Today I want to talk about those who were condemned to a living death. I want to talk about the slow death that massacres of this kind leave in their wake. I want to tell you about Darshan Kaur, 53 years old, of Karolba. After her husband and her father-in-law were killed, she worked as a maid, एक घर में नौकरानी बन करके 50 रुपए दिहाड़ी पर काम किया उसने। पिछले 12-15 साल से एक ब्यूटी पार्लर में काम कर रही हैं, 5,000 की तनख्वाह पाती हैं। She has no other option. संत, एक और विधवा, उनको नौकरी दी गई थी। घोषित किया गया था ना कि सरकारी नौकरियां मिलेगी, लेकिन क्या नौकरियां मिली, वाह 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 वाह। क्लास 4 एम्प्लॉई, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री में 24 साल से। She was so caught up in just going to office, एक नई नौकरी संभालना, कि बच्चों को संभाल नहीं पाई। ड्रग एडिक्शन, उसका बेटा अल्कोहलिक हो गया 15 साल की उम्र में। रोती हैं कि 18 साल की उम्र में वो घर छोड़ के चला गया। दिस इज संत's रियलिटी। पप्पी कौर 55 साल की, तिलक विहार की, जिसे विडोज कॉलोनी कहते हैं, वो त्रिलोकपुरी में रहती थी दंगे से पहले। उनको भी एक नौकरी दी गई, लेकिन उन्होंने ली नहीं। उनका तनख्वाह इतनी कम है, इतनी दूर जाना पड़ेगा, तो अब बच्चों को ट्यूशन दे करके थोड़ा बहुत गुजारा करती हैं। रवियल कौर नंदनगरी में रहती थी, मस्ट बी 75 years old नाउ। उनका 300 स्क्वायर यार्ड का प्लॉट था नंदनगरी में, 3 भैंसें थीं, 2 छोटी दुकानें थीं किराने की। उनको नौकरी सफाई कर्मचारी की दी गई। इसे इंसाफ कहते हैं? मैं इन लोगों की बात करना चाहती हूं आज। इतने साल हुए हैं, दर्शन, संत, रवियल, पप्पी कौर, ऐसे अनगिनत लोग हैं। And I want to expand our notion of justice today. I want all of us, from here on now, to say justice is not just criminal justice. Justice is what we must seek from the government of India. It doesn't matter which political party, for all those who are left behind. And what does that mean? उसका क्या मतलब है? जब हम कहते हैं रिहैबिलिटेशन करो, पुनर्वास करो, तो जवाब सरकार से ठीक है जी, मुआवजा दे देंगे, compensation. The word compensation has swallowed up the entire meaning of what rehabilitation means in India. Compensation is just a way of throwing money at a problem. भाई जी हमने तो मुआवजा दे दिया, क्या होगा आपके मुआवजे से? घर मिल जाएगा, मोहल्ला मिल जाएगा, बच्चों को स्कूल मिल जाएंगे। जितने लोग डिप्रेशन, कार्डियोवास्कुलर डिजीज, हार्ट डिजीज, टेंशन, क्या करेगा आपका मुआवजा? मेरा तो मोहल्ला छूट गया, मेरे इतिहास छूट गया, मेरे पड़ोसी छूट गए, मेरी नौकरी छूट गई, इस मुल्क के बाशिंदे होने का हक छूट गया जिस दिन स्टेट ने मुझ पर हमला किया। क्या करेगा आपका मुआवजा? लेकिन हमने भी, और ये हमारी कमी है, मेरी भी कमी है, आप सबकी कमी है, कि हम लोग बार बार रिहैबिलिटेशन की गुहार करते हैं सिर्फ मुआवजे से। I repeat, compensation is not reparation. Compensation is not rehabilitation. Compensation is not reparative justice for those who lived through these massacres. Compensation is a very, very, very small part, a minimal part of what is owed. I think this understanding is important because long criminal legal battles are not only the norm, but they will continue to be stymied. In the meantime, we lose sight of the lives that are currently being destroyed. It's not just one generation or 2 or 3. It is generations together that suffer the consequences of instability in homes, of drug addiction. तिलक विहार में जाकर के दिल टूट जाएगा किसी का भी। अनएम्प्लॉयड बच्चे घूम रहे हैं, आंखों में नशा दिखता है। ये हशर हुआ है एक खाती पीती कौम का, और वो भी यहां पर हमारे शहर में। कॉम्पनसेशन क्या दिया गया 84 के दंगों को? पहले तो 10,000 रुपए। फर्स्ट अनाउंसमेंट वॉज फॉर 10,000 रुपीज। आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट कॉम्पनसेशन। फिर 87 में उसको 20,000 और डाल दिया। फिर 2006 में नानावटी कमीशन के बाद 3.5 लाख और दे दिया। 2014 में 5 लाख और जोड़ दिया। मतलब ये क्या, जब भी सिविल सोसाइटी खड़ी होती है, जब भी कोई हंगामा करता है, जब भी एक एजिटेशन लगता है, भाई पॉलिटिकल बेनिफिट कुछ इससे मिल जाएगा, एक कोई हेडलाइन मिल जाएगी, तो पैसे फेंक देते हैं। जैसे भीख की तरह कौम इस मुल्क में भीख बन गई है। आप गिड़गिड़ाओ, थोड़ा जोर से गिड़गिड़ाओ, लोगों को इकट्ठा करके गिड़गिड़ाओ, तो आपको मुआवजा आपके मुंह पर फेंका जाएगा। थोड़ा बढ़ा देंगे, थोड़ा बढ़ा देंगे, थोड़ा बढ़ा देंगे। Compensation is not even treated as a matter of constitutional rights in this country. You have to beg for it. One judgment said we should give compensation on compassionate grounds. मैंने कहा क्या compassionate grounds? हक है। These are not compassionate grounds. हम कोई भीख नहीं मांग रहे, बट ये मंशा है, सरकारों की यही मंशा है। और कॉम्पनसेशन की कोई स्टैंडर्ड दर नहीं है इस देश में। 84 के दंगों से पहले दिल्ली में मैसेकर हुआ था, वहां पर तो मुआवजा 5,000 रुपीज, 5,000 was the compensation amount given. It was never increased. भागलपुर में मैं आपको बता रही हूं कितना आर्बिट्रेरी है ये, जिसका मतलब जिसका मन मौला कि अगर कोई सरकार उदार है, अगर कोई मीडिया में आने वाली है, यूपी की सरकार गंदी है, फलाने की सरकार अच्छी है, मेरा मन है मैं 1 लाख दूं, मेरा मन है मैं 50,000 दूं, मेरा मन है मैं 5,000 दूं। मतलब इट्स लाइक there is no value to human life, and it's all a political game. Whoever can push for it, get some compensation. If you can't push for it, you don't get compensation. So Nelly got 5,000. 84 के दंगों में जैसे बनाया 10,000 से दर शुरू हो करके, फिर क्योंकि राजधानी है, थोड़ी हंगामा मचाने की थोड़ी शक्ति है, तो बढ़ते बढ़ते गया। भागलपुर के दंगे में पहले 1 लाख दिया गया, फिर 3.5 लाख 2009 में। मतलब ये क्या, मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि ये पहले इतना देते हो, फिर इतना देते हो, फिर थोड़ा सा और फेंक देते हो। 2002 गुजरात में पहले तो उन्होंने अलग अलग दर घोषित की कि जो हिंदू मरे हैं उनको 2 लाख दिया जाएगा, मुसलमान मरे हैं उनको 1 लाख दिया जाएगा। उस पर ऑब्जेक्शन हुई तो फिर उन्होंने स्टैंडर्ड कर दिया, 1.5 लाख कर दिया। और उस 1.5 लाख में भी 60,000 नर्मदा बॉन्ड्स में दिए गए। आप चाहे अनचाहे आपको नर्मदा बॉन्ड्स लेने पड़े सरकार से। फिर ये 84 के दंगों का बैलेंस करते हुए उनको भी फिर 3.5 लाख और दिए गए। द पॉइंट इज, ये इतना आर्बिट्रेरी है। देयर इज नो पॉलिसी at all. I want to talk about what rehabilitation or reparative justice briefly. I'll just take 2 more minutes, please? Okay. 84 के दंगे के बाद official figures थी that about 22 to 25,000 people left Delhi. 25,000 Sikhs left. And I think that's a huge underestimation. I think many more did. सरकारी कागजों में उनको क्या कहते हैं? Migrants. 25,000 Sikhs migrated to the Punjab is what official documents say. These were not migrants. These were internally displaced people. And the word IDP is not even used in India's policy documents. And you know what those people were given? To have left their homes, their histories, their neighborhood, and to migrate, to run away, fearing for their lives, was 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs to set up an entire life with an entire family in a new state, fearing for your life. That is what they were given. And they were called migrants. The truth is, India has no policy that acknowledges internal displacement. What is internal? Internal displacement is not refugee. Refugee जो और मुल्कों से आते हैं. Internally displaced people are those who have been forced to leave their homes because of violence and conflict in their own country. To be homeless in your own country because of violence, that is internal displacement. And I ask all of us today to ask the government of India, where is your policy on internal displacement? I'll tell you, internal displacement unites India like nothing else. There are Sikhs, there are Christians in Kandhamal, there are Muslims in Gujarat, there are tribals in central India, there are tribals and Adivasis in the northeast of this country. It is the most unifying tragedy. All Indians, all homeless, all without any protective statutory rights. All we get is that same old compensation. That is not enough to make futures for young children when they've lost their schools, and nobody helps you rebuild a life. What we need from the government is a comprehensive policy for violence-induced internal displacement. That is a demand I want to place from this forum today, so that we do not neglect those who are the living dead left behind in these kinds of massacres. Thank you very much.
Collateral damage is the biggest damage caused by massacres of this scale and magnitude. I now request Sidharth Vadarajan to start.
I'm very grateful and honored to the Sikh Forum, and in particular Pratap Singh ji, Pushpinder Singh ji, Harvinder Kaur ji for inviting me to speak here on this very, very solemn, very, very important occasion. 33 years is a long time by any yardstick. Generations come and go. The face of society changes. The face of politics changes. I was trying to think on my way here of other moments of human tragedy, to imagine other moments of human tragedy and to picture how the people affected by those tragedies might have looked back on the original events 3 decades later, 33 years later. The Holocaust of the Nazis, which was exposed to the world in all its horrible reality in 1945. In 1978, how did the world relate to the reality of Auschwitz or Dachau? How did Jews or Gypsies? Obviously, their revulsion, their sense of disgust, horror, anger would not have diminished. But the fact that the regime that had committed those atrocities was defeated, the fact that even if Nazis responsible for those crimes at the senior level or even at the level of the foot soldier, if they were still alive, there was a certain comfort to be drawn if you were a survivor, if you were a victim, that the battle for justice carries on, that any Nazi involved in crimes committed against the people during World War II, no matter how large or small, lived in fear of being caught. And that itself provides some measure of solace to a victim, the fact that the battle for justice is being waged and that across the world and also in their own countries, there were righteous people willing to take up this fight.